Liverpool Football Club are running out of time with their Mo Salah negotiations, according to the Telegraph, the highly credible Telegraph's Sam Wallace. It appears that FSG and Liverpool Football Club are refusing the contract demands rightfully being made by one of the very best players in the world. We know Mohamed Salah wants to stay at Liverpool. We know via his interview with GQ that he has declared his love, admiration, respect for the club and fans, and wants to put pen to paper, but feels the matter is out of his hands. Of course, Liverpool can turn this around by offering him the right salary, the right terms to get this deal over the line. But are SFG dicing with danger here by risking losing one of the most potent, most prolific, and the very best football player that Liverpool have had in the Premier League era? We're going to delve into that and much, much more this afternoon on the Done Deal Show. Smash that like and share button. Let's go, people. Welcome back to the show, people. Hope you are well. Hope your days have started off brilliantly. It's a big day on the terrace today. We're here live. We've got a big Man United show around 4 p.m. today. It's going to get very heated indeed. All different types of Man United fans on. Watch along exclusive on Twitch for the Arsenal-Liverpool game, and then the match reaction as ever. So a long, hard day on the terrace. So please make sure you were tuning in. Please make sure that you were all giving us your support, smashing those like buttons, subscribing and sharing. We're going to let you call into today's show. The link for that show is going to be put into our Telegram group chat. If you don't have Telegram, if you do have it and you're not in our group chat, the link is in the description below. You'll see it next to the big green tick. So that's going to go in there in about 10 minutes time. So go and get yourselves into that group. Now, we have to start off with the biggest piece of news that's circulating today. We can do nothing but talk about this. Mohamed Salah, the greatest Liverpool football player to don and wear the famous red shirt in the Premier League era. His goal-scoring ratio is amazing. His creativity is exceptionally good for a goal scorer. He's a beautiful player. He has been the most consistent striker or attacker I've seen in a Liverpool shirt in my lifetime over the last 4 to 5 years. His contract runs out in June 2023. And according to a big report today, from Sam Wallace, the chief football writer for The Telegraph, a highly credible media outlet here in the UK, he says that Mo Salah is a victim of unfortunate timing. This is the worst moment to be a superstar player. He says, through no fault of his own, Salah is running out of ways to convince Liverpool to pay him the price he believes he deserves. One of the passages in the article says Mo Salah is running out of time to convince them. Liverpool currently are not prepared to meet his salary demand, is what's being said here. It says this time last year, all it took was Mo Salah to light the fire was his choice of publication. In an interview with the Spanish newspaper AS just before Christmas, that was enough to indicate the scope of his horizons and where his mind would wander if time ticked down at Liverpool. It says 1 year on in another interview, and although this time there was no subtle references about maybe moving on, one of the biggest lines that came out of that GQ interview was him saying, "I'm not asking for crazy stuff." And I think that resonates massively with Liverpool fans. And do you know what? Even if Mo Salah's asking for 300, 400 grand a week, that isn't crazy stuff in this modern day game. And where FSG are doing themselves up like kippers, I go back to that Nike deal. That Nike deal is the kind of elephant in the room in this. 20% of all Liverpool branded Nike merchandise. It was going to send revenue streams through the roof. Liverpool fans have been buying up merchandise, buying up shirts, anything with a Nike and Liverpool badge on, they've been buying up everywhere. Where is that money? Why is that not being invested properly? Why are we potentially allowing a player to leave? And the saddest part about this is the less time on Mo Salah's contract, the more he's valuation diminishes. Since December 2019, so we're talking just over 2 years, his valuation has plummeted from around 135 to 140 million down to the 80 to 90 million pound mark. Why? Because his contract is running out. In the summer of 2023, I haven't seen any reports to indicate there's a 1-year extension at the end of it. His contract runs out, meaning in a year's time, everybody can offer him a contract and talk to him without Liverpool's permission. In 18 months' time, he can leave for free. He can leave for free. Everybody knows my opinion on Mo Salah, the player. Exceptional, brilliant, amazing. One of the very best players in the world. For Liverpool Football Club, and I implore you all to go and read this article from Sam Wallace. This isn't a 2-page piece with loads of quotes from everywhere else. This is a full, hardened piece of journalistic work. Liverpool are going to come out with some spin. Economics, the pandemic, no fans, can't afford it, he's not responsible. But I'm calling that bullshit. I'm calling that BS here now, live on the terrace. FSG are just being too cheap. I still believe a resolution can be found. I still think they will give Mo Salah what he deserves. Mo Salah is irreplaceable at Liverpool Football Club. Irreplaceable. If they're not prepared to pay him that money, they can't sign a like for like. Because a like for like is going to want similar money. And there isn't a like for like out there. What inside forward in the world can Liverpool afford and pay a pittance to that's going to produce what Mo Salah has done? I don't care about eye test. I don't care about technical ability. If they can't deliver the goals, the game-changing moments, and the dominant displays as a collective, there's no replacing Mo Salah. Regression is on the horizon for Liverpool. If they have to give him this new deal, I'm staggered beyond belief that Liverpool Football Club are risking losing the greatest player of their Premier League era, one of the very best attackers in the world. This season, some people would say Karim Benzema, some people would say Mo Salah, but he's in the conversation for the next Ballon d'Or with his form, the quality of his goals, the variety, the creativity, the fact he's kind of dragged Liverpool through some really poor moments where the team's been leaking. And for FSG and for Liverpool Football Club to even be considering the offering this is absolutely crazy. It's crazy in my opinion. Absolutely crazy, in my view. One of the things here that the article says it's really interesting, when the age is against him, Klopp generously suggested that Mo Salah could continue to the highest level into these mid-30s, but that is a hard sell to the owners looking at a salary commitment that runs into what many consider to be football's old age. By the time his contract at Anfield expires, he will be 31. The old days of panic when a player passes that threshold of 2 years left on a deal are gone. And big clubs have gone into the final years of contracts without blinking. And that's the thing here. That's what FFG are looking at. So I understand the logic behind it. He's 30. He's already moving into his early 30s. We give him a 5-year deal now. Give him a 5-year deal now. And that means he will extend to 2027, 5 years from now. They said, I think that's what Mo Salah wants, a 5-year deal. 2027 as an example. That means he's going to be 34 to 35 when that contract ends. There's always a risk that a player can hit 32, 33, and there's a drop-off. There's always that risk. I'm not saying it will happen, but there's always that risk. The question is for you, Liverpool fans especially, what do you want to happen? What do you want to see happen? Do you want to? You agree with FSG here? I want to know. And what I will say is this as well: there is no sign that Mo Salah is unhappy. There is no talk about Klopp wanting to get rid of him. This is not about Klopp. This is not about Mohamed Salah. This is about the football club, your club, Liverpool Football Club, that own Anfield, that run the badge, that represent you. This is on them. This is their decision. I'm going to go to your live comments here. We are going to share the link for you to phone in the Telegram notification group chat. Winnerpool says, Terry, Mo Salah is happy at Liverpool, confident he will sign. I see no problem. It will be done until the end of the season. Keyword timing. And maybe it will be timing. And maybe they are doing this, but they are dicing with danger. They need to just get this done and secure his future. Jurgen Klopp's confident, and it's great that he's confident. Mo Salah doesn't sound confident. Mo Salah would not have said what he did in the GQ magazine. I spoke to a journalist who's fairly close to Liverpool back in December who said that we think it's all going to be done and dusted in January. That's now not the case. I saw the Sam Wallace article this morning. I read it. Very insightful. Like what I would say, Winnerpool, is read the article. It isn't a like desk journalist that's putting together one quote and making a story out of it. This is a detailed, fully investigated piece of work. It needs to be read. Mo Salah wouldn't have said what he said to GQ only a few short weeks ago if it was as clear-cut as you're suggesting. Maybe it's going to get done. I still think FSG will give him what he wants in the end, but I don't understand why they're creating a debacle about it. Again, not respecting you, the fans. Martin says, Terry, talk about current news like what Ronaldo said. Stop clickbaiting. This is not clickbait. This is a genuine news story from one of the most respected journalists in the business. And, of course, one of the most respected outlets out there. I assume you're a Liverpool fan. And we are talking about what Ronaldo said. We've got a whole special show lined up at 4 o'clock with a full panel to delve into it. So, my friend, we are not going to ignore this Liverpool news because it hurts your feelings. We are talking about everything. It's as simple as that. I see a lot of you in the comments section very, very upset that we're covering this story. As far as I'm concerned, to not cover this story is disrespectful to all of the Liverpool supporters, especially that avidly follow the football terrace, because it's huge and they deserve to have their say. They deserve to have their opinion on this. Absolutely. And we are talking Ronaldo later on today. That isn't going to be ignored on the terrace. We've got a full panel coming on to have their say. Thank you very much. You know, it's true. It is true. And look, some people don't want this to be discussed because they want to bury their head in the sand. But I think that's disrespectful to all the Liverpool supporters that want to talk about this situation. It is clearly a real situation. In some other news today, and I wanted to get some Man United opinion on this as well. Man United have been linked for a move for Tariq Lamptey. It says here that Arsenal and Tottenham are also linked to the Brighton fullback, who has shone on the South Coast since leaving Chelsea. It says here that the Mail reports that United have a strong interest in Lamptey as Rangnick looks to upgrade the likes of Dalot and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But it said that the two clubs are about £10 million apart on the current valuations of the players. So United fans, I want to hear from you in relation to that story. Is he the right individual to come in and replace them? There we go. Francisco says, I think this is a PR stunt. They'll announce he's signing at the end of the window to cover up they didn't sign anyone else, is what Francisco thinks. Maybe. So you think Mo Salah is doing the GQ interview to make Liverpool fans angry so that FSG can announce his new deal at the end of January so that it masks the fact that you're not signing anybody? That would suggest that Mo Salah is in on the conspiracy, that he's helping FSG cover up the lack of investment. I don't think Mo Salah would do that. I think he's too much of an honourable guy. I think FSG are being cheap. I don't think this is. They may do the deal last minute if there's noise from Liverpool fans. They might still do it and then throw out a big PR thing. But I don't think Mo Salah's involved at all. Mo Salah's done 2 interviews a year apart. Go read them. Don't ignore them because they create new cognitive dissonance. Read them seriously because they're being crazy. Nez here says it's simple contract talks. I disagree with you. I disagree with you indeed. Mo Salah is respecting you, the fans. Mo Salah is respecting Liverpool Football Club. But he's calling out your owners. You know, most of you don't even like FSG that come on the terrace. So to act like this isn't a real story is highly strange to me. Jamie here says, from a business point of view, I can see why they are worried about giving a 30-year-old 400k. From a fan point, it is utter crap, is what Jamie Phillips has got to say. And I understand you on that, bro. I think what you're saying there makes a huge amount of sense. It does. Terry, are there any updates on Dennis Zakaria? There's no updates at all. I think what's interesting is when it comes to the Zakaria situation, is the German press are pushing that talks are happening. The English press, and I spoke to somebody at the Muppeteers actually yesterday that think they've heard it's just agent talk in United and not in conversations. My personal opinion is preliminary talks have happened. Man United have made a loose offer, as have a number of other clubs, but no club is going out of their way to say we are in for him because the player hasn't decided where he's going and everybody's going to protect themselves. There is a distinct possibility that Manchester United could bring him in. Interesting comment here. Was it gone? From Kevin, it says, Terry, the GQ interview used a quote from a time ago. Salah is going nowhere, lad. He will sign. That always tends to be the excuse when an interview comes out, that the interview was done ages ago. And since then till now, things have changed and moved forward. And maybe they have. As I said, back in December, I was told that it could be early January that his new deal is announced. That's still not happened. I'm intrigued as to know why. Sam Wallace is not a clickbait writer. Sam Wallace is a very credible, very reliable, very well-respected journalist. I know when very respected journalists write articles that trigger people, we tend not to want to believe it, but there's no smoke without fire. My belief, though, if you listen to the words that come out of my mouth, is I think Mo Salah will sign, but I still think Liverpool are taking one crazy and stupid risk. Sarim here says, Liverpool fans need to stop letting FSG take them for a ride. And I agree with you. I agree with you indeed. Romano just tweeted. Romano, I'll go and have a little check of that a little bit later, people. Not a problem at all. I'm going to share the link for you to phone in. I'm going to put it into the Telegram group chat right now. In the Telegram group chat, if you want to phone into the terrace, go across to that now and grab it. If you only just join the group chat now, you're not going to see it. That's why I gave you the warning a little while ago to get it done. Phone in and have your say. Winnerpool here says, Terry, Salah loves Liverpool. He's been forcing FSG to invest in signings for his last big contract. I think he's more concerned about winning trophies than his wages. Salah is Liverpool fans' agent now. I don't disagree with any of that. That's why if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be frustrated at my club. I don't know when that GQ interview happened. When you say ages ago, I doubt it was more than 2 months. I really, really do. But everyone's going to have a different view and opinion on this. Everyone's going to think differently about it at all. I do not. Telegram is an app. It's like WhatsApp. So the link is in there. So go and get the link from in there if you want it. We'll also post it in the live chat for you that don't have it, just so you know. What does it say here? Plot twist. Safe was actually. All right, cool. Twisted here says 500 grand a week for Salah will unsettle the dressing room. It won't, because he's the best player Liverpool have had in the Premier League era. He deserves it. He is worth every single penny. I think he's got 4 to 5 years at his very best in front of him. I believe what this guy, I don't care for the spin from FSG. Oh, he's hitting 30. I don't care. If they lose him, Liverpool are not winning another Premier League for years. I'll say this now with genuine belief. If they lose Mo Salah and don't replace him with somebody that can dominate games like he does, score and create at the rate. But by the way, he's scoring and creating goals over the last 4 years. 4 years is a long time in football. At the same rate as Thierry Henry. He's the only player to do that since Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry's been gone. He came back for a loan spell, but he's been gone for nearly 15 years. Mo Salah's the only guy. for that prolonged period. Of course, Ronaldo had that spell, sort of 06 to like 2009. But Mo Salah's 4 years. 4 years. I'm not suggesting he's better than Thierry Henry. I'm saying to you, this man is absolutely sensational. Sensational. They must keep him. They must keep him. If they don't give him the new deal, they should have sold him 2 years ago and got maximum money, 130, 140, 150 million pounds. No one's paying that now for Mo Salah. No one is going to invest that much money into Liverpool. Wait a year and then give him the 500 grand a week he wants, 10 million pound signing on fee, and save yourself 100 million quid as a club. They're dicing with danger. They really are. I think they'll crumble SFG. I think they'll crumble into the demands, but they're being crazy. Thank you, Todd Cantwell, for signing up and becoming an official member, an academy member of the Football Terrace. That means a great deal to us. Salah's going to sign for Villa. Love it. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Right, I'm going to go to your calls now. I want to know what you think and feel. Young Tommy's on the show with us now to tell us what he thinks about Mo Salah. Could he leave Liverpool? Will FSG pull their finger out and get this done? Let's do this. I didn't put the call in. Young Tommy's here. What you saying, mate? Mo Salah.
Hi, Tel. How are you, man?
Very well. What's your thoughts on this situation?
He has to stay because Mo Salah is one of the best players I've ever watched. He's terrorized us at so many times, home and away when we play these lot. He needs to stay. Like this guy, he's been with Liverpool since 2017. 5 years. This guy is a GOAT. He has to stay. Like he's almost a Liverpool legend. He's up there with Robbie Fowler, Torres, Ian Rush, Souness, Kenny Dalglish. He's up there with all the Liverpool legends. He's up there with all of them. Steven Gerrard, he's up there. He has to stay because if he leaves, Liverpool ain't gonna win another league. Like, come on, they've got one Premier League in 32 years. That's not good enough for Liverpool Football Club. They should be winning more league titles, like 3 or 4 or 5 league titles. He needs to stay. They have to give him what he wants, and he has to stay because if they lose him, Klopp has to find the replacement. Replacing Salah is not going to be easy. But he has to stay because this guy is just one of the best. I think he'll be up there with Thierry Henry as well. Like because Thierry Henry left us in 2007, and this guy's been there for 5 years, isn't it? So he has to stay. They need to get him a new deal. Give him what he wants. Give Mohamed Salah what he wants. Don't fuck him over. Give him what he wants. He has to stay because I do know what I love to see this guy in the Premier League. I do not want it. Without him, the Premier League is just going to be boring and shit for me. But he needs to stay for me because this guy is just an excellent player. Pace, power, headers, volleys. He's a fox in the box. He's been sliced bread. He's been sliced bread for them since Suarez. Since they lost Suarez a few years ago, innit? So he has to stay in the Premier League. They can't afford to let him go because if he leaves, no more Premier Leagues for Liverpool Football Club. Let's be real.
Tommy, thank you very much for calling in and having your say. Top man. Thank you very much indeed. Look, Liverpool will struggle. Liverpool will struggle to win another league title without players of his quality. And you've got to look at this. There's more of this coming down the line. And I was talking to people about this the other day. Jurgen Klopp, what is he leaving in 2 years' time? Is it 2 years, 3 years? You've got Van Dijk getting older, Salah getting older. Their players are aging. Those players to stay want big money. They didn't do it with Genie. They look like they're deliberating now with Mo Salah. How do they replace those players? It feels like what they're going to do is go back to how they built under Klopp. And it's what I get a gut feeling. They'll go and buy 30, 40 million. They'll go and get Rafinhas of this world and everybody else and hope that Klopp can turn them into Mo Salahs to get all those goals out of them. There's no guarantees. And look, I understand Liverpool fans' frustrations. I understand Premier League fans' frustrations in this as well. Next on the show, Bruno is here with us. What are you saying, Bruno?
Well, it's as simple as this. If they sell Mo Salah, there's going to be a riot. A massive riot. Okay? FSG, Don W. Henry, this guy, he's playing with fire. He's already damaged his reputation. First the Super League, then it was the Super Six, then using the government's money to pay staff wages, then not backing the managers in the transfer market. And now Mo Salah's contract, which it shouldn't take 10 years to get Salah's contract sorted. Like I told you in the previous video that I was on, right? It shouldn't take 10 years to get Salah's contract sorted. This should have been done a year ago. What are they doing?
Do you think a lot of Liverpool fans think this is just them sort of waiting and delaying so they can cover up not investing money on signings? I mean, the irony in that is both of those scenarios should make you angry as a Liverpool fan, surely.
The signing of players, I've said this last time and I will say it again. A lot of Liverpool fans have been slaughtering me on Twitter because I've got an opinion. Well, I've got an opinion. If you don't like it, you know where the exit door is. It's as simple as that. I won't stand for any garbage.
Amen.
Right? Finishing second, I told you this before, it's not good enough. It's rubbish. We're not Arsenal. Yes, I'll put it out there. We're not Arsenal fans, okay? Third place, not good enough. Fourth place, that's not good enough. Okay? Mo Salah's one of the best players. We bought this guy for 35, 36 million pounds. Ironically, that's the same fee that we paid for the waste of space Andy Carroll. And by the way, yeah, like I was saying, so they can't be bothered to give Salah 400k a week, I think it is, 450k a week. That's peanuts. Right? We're not Barnet. We're not Scunthorpe. We're not Harrogate Town. We're not MK Dons. We're Liverpool Football Club. Give the guy what he wants. I know what they're going to do. They're going to try and wait till the end of January to then give him the contract, or they'll wait till the 1st of June and then give him. No, you don't wait till the end of January or the 1st of June. You give him the contract now.
What's your message? If they're listening to you right now, if you had got the opportunity to stand in front of FSG, what would your message to them be?
My message would be this. Give Salah the contract or sell the club. That is it. No more second chances. No more, I'll give it. No, you've already done enough damage by trying to turn the Champions League into a Super League, then the Super Six, then there was the Liverpool bird thing, then the £77 tickets. I could go on. And a lot of Liverpool fans on Twitter have been replying to me saying, because we are Liverpool Football Club. This whole thing of, we can't afford him, we can't afford this, we can't. Hello, are we Liverpool or are we Stockport United? We're Liverpool, we're not Stockport.
I hear you. Listen, Bruno, thank you for coming on and giving us your thoughts on your football club. We'll speak to you again soon. Thank you. You can hear, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out there. You can hear an upset Liverpool fan there with the way his club's being run. And fair play to him for coming on and having his say. And look, I don't agree that £400,000 a week is a drop in the ocean or a pittance or peanuts, as he put it. But I think Mo Salah is worth it. I think commercially and from a footballing sense, he is worth it. The greatest player in Liverpool's Premier League history being shown, in my opinion, very little respect. This deal should have been tied up 12 months ago, let alone now. And he's still delivering and he's still pushing forward. We're going to do some more calls in a moment. We're going to go to your super chats here. Strip Bear, I didn't know it was your birthday, but happy birthday to you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. If Salah leaves, fans will turn on FSG 100%. I'm not too convinced by that. I think too many Liverpool fans are afraid to say what they really think in public. They hold back from saying what they really feel. It will take a key influencer within the fan base or two to make that happen. We'll see. We'll see. R.I.P. Liverpool. Killed by FFG, LeBron, and Nike is what Sarim's got to say, who's coming on the show soon to have his say. Best player in the world currently begging to stay at a club. FSG are the worst owners, barely spend anything and will not pay the best players decently. Terry, can you please rip FFG a new one? I'm sick of them. Watch Liverpool re-sign Salah and sign no one during the January transfer window. FFG are cheap. Klopp seems frustrated as well. And you know what I would say to that, Michael? Like I said to that caller, if that's what happens, you shouldn't feel happy. Like you can be happy. You can be happy about the Mo Salah deal without being overly happy and going, oh, it's all perfect. It's all fine. I've said this to Liverpool fans a number of times. You're still a brilliant team on the field of play. You're still highly competitive. That doesn't mean you can't chastise things at your football club. Demand the best from your football club. Don't just paint on this weird picture that it's all perfect when it isn't. I find that strange. Compliment Liverpool for this. I'm a United fan and I wish my club had these kind of balls. Players shouldn't made to be more powerful than the club. So Man United here applauding what Liverpool are doing here with Mohamed Salah. I don't think everybody would agree with you, but thank you very much for that comment. Rather than buying new signings, FFG are beating the bush with Salah's contract. Make it make sense is what Shaq has got to say here. The link to call in is pinned into the live comment section now. So if you want to have your say, please do. We have a member super chat here from Robbie. Robbie Singh, long time no see, my friend. We don't see you on the chat. Saw you over there the other day on Dom Hussim's account. I ain't seen you on one of my streams for a long time. Welcome back. He says, if Salah leaves Liverpool, it will be embarrassing. Sorry if I may have missed out. I've just seen Ronaldo's interview. Gonna guess he's demanding high standards as well. And Robbie, I hear you. And we're going to be covering this. I know you might be Liverpool fans watching this, but join us at 4:00. It's going to be a very heated and big debate about the problems at Manchester United. We've got myself, Neeks, KJ, man like Aaron is back on the terrace, and I'm just waiting for some confirmation from a few different people to come on. I really want to get a plethora of different Man United opinions on, so make sure you're tuning in. Robbie's here again. He says, low-key, Terry, you can have a laugh at Liverpool. Do you know what? I don't know. This is the maddest thing about me. I've got to a point now where I don't laugh at bad ownership. And the reason I don't laugh at bad ownership is because they damage the working class. These clubs are built with the blood, sweat, and tears of the working classes. The working classes made these clubs. People that are still at games now as grandfathers or great-grandfathers, grandmothers and great-grandmothers built these football clubs. They are an intrinsic part of the culture of this country and to the working class communities from all different backgrounds, all different races, all different religions, sexualities and genders that all come together to watch a particular type of football. And look, over the years, the middle classes and upper classes have started to enjoy football on a more regular basis. But they're working class built. And when I see these billionaire owners turn them purely, I don't mind them turning them into businesses to further the endeavors of the club. If the fans are respected, if the fans come first, if winning is the pinnacle. As soon as I see these clubs making hundreds of millions of pounds, growing their own franchises, growing their businesses, making money, but winning isn't the priority for the football club, it's secondary, or they're scrimping and scraping, rather than Liverpool fans are willing to go to games and pay. Liverpool fans are not saying, oh, we know we should be coming in for free, should be doing this for us. They are willing to give their money to their football club to support their endeavors. What they want to see is every spare penny available used to keep the team as good as it can be. And they're not getting that. And I can't laugh at that. I can't laugh at it. And this goes for any country because I don't know the history of other countries' football, but they adopted the sport. And I'm pretty sure their football clubs were born out of their nation's working class. The stories are the same. I want to see their clubs run properly. I tend not to. I'm just getting to a point in my life now where I don't want to look at badly run clubs and go, ha, you deserve it. There are proper people connected to these clubs that are heartbroken. And I hear your point, Robbie. I'm not having a pop at you. I'm just saying it's something that's really important to me just as a person. And it frustrates. I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I'm annoyed at FSG because I don't like how they're treating people, proper people. It gets on my nerves. It really, really does. It really, really does. Next on the show, Liverpool fan again with us now. Sarim's on the line. What you saying, bro?
Alright, bro, you good?
I'm fine, mate. I'm fine. What's your take on that? I know a few Liverpool fans in the comment section are saying that it's not true. Sam Wallace is clickbaiting. The Telegraph don't believe them, but I don't know. There seems to be an element of truth to this at the very least.
I've got 2 words for you, bro. Genie Wijnaldum. What happened to him? Where is he? Is he still at the club? He was a legend. He was as big as Mo Salah. He was such an important player to us. We're missing him this season. Like, Thiago's quality, but he's injury prone. But you know what we needed? We needed someone like him. And he needed the money. He wanted more money. And we said no to him. And now he's gone. So Liverpool fans would think, yeah, you know what? There's a chance we're going to keep him. This is all nonsense. I'm sorry. Look at him. Where is he now? Simple as. And as for like Salah, will he stay? Will he go? I'm not gonna lie, this kind of really pissed me off, and part of me just wants him to go now because I'm sick and tired of watching the FSG fuck us around and fuck us players around. And the only way we're going to understand like how serious these guys are not taking us is when our club starts going down and backwards. If I'm being brutally honest, like since the Champions League final, bro, we won a Champions League final 4 years ago, and it's mental. We've not signed anyone of note since, bar Thiago and Jota. Who else have we signed? Like, we are one of the biggest clubs in the world, and we're acting like dickheads. I don't get where's this defense of FSG coming from? It's ridiculous, and we need to get rid of them now. And personally, I genuinely, hand on heart, I don't want Mo Salah to sign a contract. I want him to move on. I genuinely want him to move on. I want our players all to go, and then we'll see what they do then. Because you've said it yourself. You said when you figure out when an owner is good or bad is when we're in trouble. When we're in trouble, they'll fuck us over royally. And I just don't want them to be here anymore. And I'm sick and tired of them. They need to go fast.
Wow. Big, strong words there from Surim. Top man for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate that, mate. Thank you.
Mate. Cheers.
Cheers. Look, I understand the sentiment there. I mean, sometimes you need... I think some Liverpool fans like Surim, who calls in a lot, are frustrated at all the Liverpool supporters that I've just been sitting here whilst listening to the calls and talking, looking at some very prominent Liverpool fans that I follow and I respect in the social media space. They've been tweeting this morning. They've been sharing things this morning. Not one of them has spoke about this news from the Telegraph. It's like, why are you ostriches? Absolute ostriches. I'm going to bury my head in the sand and hope and pray that the new deal gets signed and then go, see, nothing to worry about. People are acting like FFG have been these great owners in terms of behaviorally. They've helped Jurgen Klopp build a brilliant team. The problem is when you've got no pedigree of winning Premier Leagues, when you haven't won a league in 30 years, you can build to it slowly. But Liverpool got back to their pinnacle. Liverpool fans believe that Liverpool Football Club makes enough money to stay at their pinnacle. The second biggest football club, in my opinion, in the world. In the world. Top 5, definitely. But with the fan base they've got, with the income they have, they could afford to keep Salah. They should have kept Genie or replaced him. Genie leaves, you bring in Basuma. You know, replace him with someone adequate. Look, we said about Thiago Silva when he signed. Absolutely amazing. But he's injury prone. He's not going to be available enough. Some of those injuries, yes, they've been contact injuries, but injuries are injuries are injuries are injuries. He's missed large chunks of both seasons now. And it impacts Liverpool. Respect what Sarim's got to say. I agree with him. Mostly I want Trent to move just so that he can have a great career that he deserves. Don't want him to be Gerrard 2.0. Oh, look, he's already won a Premier League, so he's already got that. But I understand where you're coming from here. There is this element of, if FSG never get it right again with the manager, so for the next 7, there are no guarantees that the next manager is going to be able to pick up where Klopp has taken off if the club don't have the same ambition. Because Jurgen Klopp is special. Jurgen Klopp is so special at being able to identify players, buy at a certain level, of course with the help of Michael Edwards, who I believe is also leaving. You've got to replace one of the best DOFs in the game, one of the best managers in the game. You've got to replace some of the best attackers and the best midfielders. And in a few more years, some of the best defenders Liverpool Football Club have ever had, period. In an era where more and more clubs have got money, Value of players is rising because there's more money being pumped into the game. Newcastle are going to go big. Look what Aston Villa are doing and willing to spend. Man United are always going to blow money, but that ain't good. Like, we might not be as good as Liverpool, but we still keep the market value up. Chelsea will spend. Arsenal are one of the biggest spenders in the world. No one even deeps it. Arsenal have spent more than nearly every single Premier League club in the last 5 to 6 years. Man City will always spend. And I think Liverpool are choosing not to, as opposed to not being able to. And if Trent, Trent could be, that could impact Trent. It could. In terms of legacy, definitely. He's still going to be a brilliant crosser of the ball, no doubt. But with lesser players around him, maybe not a manager as good, how's that going to impact him? We're going to get Shrey on the show soon. First, Nazir is coming on the terrace to have his say. What's on your mind, bro? Hello, Nazir. How you doing? I don't think he's ready. We're going to go to Shrey instead. What are you saying, Shrey?
Hey, Terry, can you hear me?
I can. Perfect, my bro. Give me your thoughts on Mo Salah. Could he leave Liverpool Football Club?
I personally see him leaving. Like, I don't think it'll be now, like this summer or the next summer. I think it'll be in 2 years' time when he's a free agent. Because right now, like, say if Liverpool were to sell him, let's just say he says I want to leave. I don't think any club can pay like the 80-90 million, plus his wages. Like, that'll become difficult for clubs. So I think they would rather wait. Like, they would rather wait the 2 years. Salah's happy at Liverpool anyway, so rather sell him. Rather let him go as a free agent, and then Salah can get the money he wants. Whatever the 400-500 K a week he wants. That is where I think it makes sense for Salah, the club, Liverpool, and the club that he signs for. That is my personal take on it. I mean, and I think like Liverpool will win after this. Like, and also another thing I wanted to mention, I saw someone saying about he should get 500K a week. I think that would actually like upset the harmony of the club, because if I'm Mane, for example, so say if Salah gets 500, I'm also an important player, so I also want a pay rise. So that's where I think you would have Mane, Firmino, Jota, all of these guys wanting pay rises. So that's where it could get a bit disruptive for the club. I think they don't want to pay so many players a lot of money. So that is where I think I agree with the 500K is too much part.
I hear you on that. Listen, Shrey, thank you very much for coming on and having your say. We'll speak to you again soon. Top man. Thank you. Mo Dean's on the show next. We're no echo chambers here, so I want to share this comment. It says, Terry is trying to sensationalize Salah's contract. I trust Klopp, and if he says Salah is staying, then he's staying. Did he say that Mo Salah is staying 100%? He said he believes he'll stay. And it's not about sensationalizing. It's about, for me, sharing a big story and gaining your views and opinions. And do you know what, Olu? You've done exactly what the terrace is here for. Expressing that opinion. And there may be many Liverpool fans that agree with you, my friend. So thank you very, very much for doing that. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Let's have a little look here. We're going to go to Mo Dean in a minute. Mo Dean is backstage. He's going to come on and have his say. Liverpool are way bigger than Man United. And again, you're entitled to that opinion. You are. There's a super chat we had I want to go to as well. This super chat says, idiot logic of wanting the club to implode to show how bad FSG is, cutting the nose off to spite the face. And do you know what, Khalid, I can understand that take. I also think about it from a slightly different point of view of sometimes you almost need that to happen to maybe wake everybody up to it so that you can get something better. So it's almost like a tough love thing, but I do hear your side of it as well. I think there's a happy medium between the two things. I'm like it from a Man United point of view. I don't want the club to implode, but I don't know what it's going to take to get Man United fans out of this habit of focusing on players and managers and not focusing on the real root cause of the problem. So I do get where Sarim's coming from on that, but also yourself as well. We've got Shaq coming on the show soon, but first, before Shaq, we're going to get man like Mo Dean on. What you saying, Mo? Are you there, Mo? Modine's not ready to speak, so we're going to go to Shaq instead. What are you saying, Shaq?
Big up, Terry.
How you doing, bro?
Been,
You good?
yeah, good. Been watching you for a while, and yeah, man, all the you're just too good.
Appreciate that.
Regarding regarding Salah and what the previous caller said, it will disrupt the balance with all the other squad members. But the thing is, when it comes to Salah, I don't think the other squad members are on the same balance as him. We had Van Dijk, who has been brilliant, but then we can see this season, he's coming back from his injury. He's just not the same. Bobby Firmino, anyone else, Mane, everyone else, they drop off. They have a good season and then they don't. But with Salah, you don't get that. Like, he will always have a season where he's contributing. So if Salah is demanding, there is a reason he's demanding. He is the best in the world. So if he's asking for 500, I don't think it's that much of a big ask.
Yeah. I don't think I think 500 grand. I don't even think he's asking for that much. I think he's asking for 300,000 to 400,000. And people have got to remember a lot of salaries are never as clear cut as the media portray them. So if someone's on 300 grand, so I keep seeing Rashford's contract spoken about. Oh, he's already on 200 grand a week. He isn't. He's on about 100,000. They're all on a lot of money. He's on about 100,000 base. The remaining £100,000 is a combination of appearances, win bonuses, how many minutes he plays, goals, assists, etc. So, like Mo Salah, it might be 400 grand a week, but that's if Man United are winning. Sorry, Liverpool winning. He's scoring goals. He's playing a certain amount of minutes. If he isn't, say he ain't scoring, say he goes backwards and stops scoring goals. Say he's not in the starting lineup because people are outperforming him, and or Liverpool not winning games. He won't be earning anywhere near that. So it reduces massively. So people have got to understand that it won't be like 400 grand a week flat base money. It will be a combination of things. But look, I agree with you. I think overall he's worth it because he's irreplaceable.
And why do you think?
Go on, mate.
Sorry for interrupting. Why do you think FSG is doing this? So, for example, us as fans, you as a United fan, everyone sees what Mohamed Salah has been doing for Liverpool. So when everyone else can see it, why does FSG not see that? Why do you think they're doing this?
They definitely see it. I think what FSG look at is this. And so you've got Tyrone here that says it says here, Terry always lies. There's never any truth to his stories. Well, this isn't my story, my friend. This is from the Telegraph. Mo Salah could sign a new deal. And he could stay at Liverpool. It's said in the article and said by me. FSG are trying to push his demands down. Let's just say he is asking for 350 grand a week. FSG would maybe like to do it for 280. They want to get him. They can save themselves 20, 30, 40, 50,000 pound a week for 5 years. That's millions of pounds in their back pocket they save. This is all about money. It's all about getting the best deal possible. And you get into loggerheads then. You get into a situation of like problems. All it then takes is someone to get him. The saving grace for Liverpool fans and FSG is that Mo Salah's number one choice is to remain at Liverpool. But don't ignore Mo Salah's ambition. Mo Salah is ambitious. He wants to win more league titles. He wants to win more Champions Leagues. He wants to achieve things in the game that he hasn't done yet. He wants to win multiple Champions League, multiple league titles. He wants to keep scoring at the same rate. So he's got huge ambition. And if there may come a point in a month's time, 6 months' time, when he's in these negotiations where he just goes, do you know what? I want to be here, but it isn't right for me. The relationship's breaking down, and actually Real Madrid want me. Real Madrid want me to go and play with Mbappe on either side of the flanks. I'm going to go and do that instead. For anyone to sit there and think that that's implausible and won't happen, I think you're deluding yourselves. My personal feeling is I'm about 85% sure that he will sign a new deal with Liverpool. They'll come to a happy medium. I just think FSG are taking the piss with not paying him what everybody else seems to think he's worth.
And one last point, Terry, is I think a lot of Liverpool fans, the reason they are kind of going, trying to back Klopp into this entire scheme, like they keep saying that, Klopp is not worried, this and that. I think the reason that the Liverpool fans are saying that is because when Henderson was having a contract issue and when FSG was not ready to sign, give Henderson the extension, that's when Klopp stepped in. So I think a lot of us as Liverpool fans, we are having the same sort of thought process that if Klopp can do that for Henderson, why wouldn't Klopp do that for Mohamed Salah? So
yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree, and it's you know, I feel like Jurgen Klopp is going to push for this deal to get done. Jurgen Klopp is on the same side as Mo Salah and the fans here. He is. It's just, I think,
no
you know,
guaranteed.
I haven't gone and looked, but I bet if you went and searched it, you could find similar comments of him saying, "I think Genie might stay." Like it might be 18 months before he left, but you might find those comments there. Like sometimes I look at Jurgen Klopp and I see his frustrations in press conferences, especially when it comes to talking transfers. And I think you can see his frustration with Liverpool and FSG in that, if that makes sense. But he's a professional man. He keeps it in-house. He doesn't talk about it. But I feel like I can see it. I think
It's not easy. It's not easy.
It isn't easy. No, it's not easy. I hear you at all. Listen, Shaq, thanks for coming on the show and having your say. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Lone Tricks, appreciate you becoming a first-team member of the Football Terrace today. Thank you, sir. Francisco's on the show now. Big Liverpool fan. What are you saying, Francisco?
Hey, Terry. You know what? At this point, can you hear me all right?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Now, at this point, if FSG, they mess up their signing, they can genuinely seriously just sell up the club. Because I know there's already suitors out there that want to buy the club and they have made attempts before. So if they screw up this signing, because the importance Salah has to us and the squad and to the fans, if they mess this up, they can just leave. That genuinely serious. They can just pack up and go. Because they've messed around way too many times with us with so many different things. And we've been begging every year since the Champions League win, since the Prem win, for new signings, for good signings to strengthen the squad. And they keep giving us underwhelming signings. So at this point now, this is like the last straw. They break this, then they can go. They can absolutely go.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. I think a lot of people feel that way. I think a lot of people are frustrated and annoyed, and it makes complete and utter sense. I totally get why people are in that mood, or in that mindset of feeling the way they are, and they have absolutely right to. And even if they do sign it, don't allow it to do what Jordan Henderson's deal did and cover up the fact that you didn't go in the market. The crazy thing is, should have spent money last year. Look, we've seen how good Konate's been since he joined Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd have signed Konate on the 1st of January, actually, I swear you did the deal for Van Dijk before January. I swear it was like late December. You could have put that same bid in for Konate. Maybe it could have cost you 5-10 million more because Leipzig didn't want to sell mid-season. But you could have bought him in from the beginning of January. Maybe you'd have maintained a title push. This is the thing with FSG. They remind me of the Glazers at times. They remind me of the Kroenkes. Now I think they're better than those two owners, but they're cut from the same cloth. Where it's like, we really need your investment now. Like, we're in a title race, but we need a bit of extra bodies. No, we'll wait until how many windows running have you heard? In the next window, we're going big.
Too many. In fact, you know what? Even last season, when we had the massive injury crisis with defenders, they only went and got the backup Ben Davis and Kabak after Joel Matip was basically ruled out towards the end of the January window with an ankle injury. They only went into the market because of that. If it wasn't for Joel Matip getting injured, they would have never went in because they would have thought we still had enough cover. So they've showed it time and time again. They don't want to reinforce unless their hands are forced. I think like they genuinely only care for top 4. Everything else is a bonus. So they're just looking at it. How much do we need to spend to get us into top 4? And everything else is extra. And that's just the wrong mentality, because we want to win trophies. We want to compete in every competition. That's what the fans want. We want to spend to be able to, not necessarily spend outrageous money, but enough to strengthen the squad and keep us competing. And they're not doing that because I don't think they have the same aims as us. I believe we're just a portfolio piece to them. They just want us to brag to their mates, their billionaire mates. They don't care about us, really.
Mate, listen, I totally hear where you were coming from. I really, really do. My brother, thank you very, very much for coming on and having your say. I really appreciate it. And we'll speak again soon, Fran. Top man, and all your support for the channel. Thank you. Listen, we're back at 4 o'clock. It's not the final thumbnail, but the thumbnail has just come through. It's looking really slick. Really, really slick indeed. I did. Someone here also a rumor: Basuma to Villa for £40 million. If Basuma goes to Villa for £40 million, and Liverpool, Man United, and Arsenal are not matching that bid, I despair. I legitimately despair. Despair if that happens. I don't see it happening. I see him waiting personally, but we will see. 4 p.m. We are back, people. Make sure you're tuning in. It's going to be a hella good show. Heated, definitely.